So this is one of our more interesting episodes.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, because the main guest can't really
That's true.
talk.
I'll just have to speak on her
so
behalf.
You're sort of interpreting.
Yep.
You're a spokesperson.
That's true. Her manager, her staff, her chef,
yeah.
her spokesperson.
The full
kit and
personal
caboodle, the full
assistant.
service. Yep.
Yeah. Emily Murdock is with us, and you've been in the English department for a number of years now.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, I think, is that you are the handler for Luna.
That's right.
Who is sort of the unofficial
Therapy dog.
Yeah. Well, Kirby is the
mascot.
the official mascot,
Sure.
but Luna's kind of like
The unofficial mascot.
the second. Yeah, she's sort of the internal
mascot.
face of and tail of the college. So, how long have you had her now? 3 years?
No, I've had Luna since March of 2020.
Oh,
March
wow.
6th of 2020, I got her. And we were going to have spring break, and I thought we'll get to know each other over spring break, and then I'll go back to work. And, in fact, the world shut down. And so we were home together for a long, 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 long time.
Well, I guess that's good for bonding.
It was good.
Was it
There was
difficult
definitely a lot of bonding.
Then when things came back to normal?
It was difficult because she was a 1-year-old lab mix, and I hadn't had a puppy before. And when she was at the shelter, she was a little more sedate, which is, common. Shelters aren't good environments for dogs, and so a lot of them kind of shut down. And so they said, she was smart and calm and focused, and I was like, okay, that sounds great. And then I got her home, and she slept for like 17 hours. And I thought, man, what a great dog. And then she woke up, and she was just wild.
Spring break.
When she
was
settled in,
yeah.
she was totally wild, very sweet, but wildly hyper and loads of energy and desperate to play. And she was chewing toys up left and I spent $200 on toys the first month just because she kept destroying them because she had so much energy and I had to work because everything moved online.
Yeah.
And everything took so much longer to complete that it was wonderful because she wanted to play every 20 minutes, so it made me get up and move around a little bit, but also you can't get very much done in a 20-minute.
Yeah.
That's one essay graded.
Yeah.
And so I was super frustrated most of the time, and she'd had some basic training, but she wasn't a great listener. We hadn't really built a bond, and so she wasn't terribly interested in anything I wanted her to do. Yeah.
So then can you talk about because I'm sure there's different levels of whether it's certification or, but what sort of training did she?
So I did a little bit of at-home training with her just through videos on YouTube because I was desperate to get her to do basic commands. And then my mom was going to move in with me in 6 months, and I knew that I had to get her in hand because I knew if she jumped on my mom or if she destroyed something of my mom's, she would have to be rehomed. Once classes opened up again, public classes, we did 3. We did like Obedience 1, Obedience 2, and the American Kennel Club has a Canine Good Citizen class. So she has like 3, I guess, tiers of classes that she has completed.
Okay.
So it's 18 weeks of training in total.
Okay. And then now that allows.
So we did these 18 weeks of training because I wanted her to be a therapy dog because she is just intrinsically empathetic, I think, and she's sort of drawn to people who are stressed and anxious, and she loves attention, and it was clear that I was not able to give her all of the attention that she needed. So I thought therapy dogging might be an interesting thing to try. So we did these 18 weeks of classes. She got her Canine Good Citizen. She passed that test. We passed that test. And so that test is like, can you be polite in the world? So any dog can with training, any dog can pass well, that's with training, lots of dogs can
Yeah.
pass the canine good citizen, but it's things like, can you sit on command? Can you lie down? Will you let somebody touch your ears? Will you let them touch your paws? That kind of stuff. So she got that canine good citizen, and then we also I looked specifically through, we are specifically certified through Alliance of Therapy Dogs, and that's an international no, I think it's national. That's a national organization. A lot of the local-ish ones wanted you to serve in St. Louis, and we really,
Right.
the need is here for us. So I didn't want to have to take her to St. Louis every month to do, a therapy dog session. So, so we went with this national organization. I liked them a lot. They have a lot of rules, and I kind of like that because they've been going for 30 years, and so they've sort of seen it all. And every year the handbook changes, and I kind of like that too. It's like a teacher who's been teaching a long time, and that
Yeah.
syllabus gets a little longer every year. So for them, we had to have another specific behavioral test, which is similar to the AKC but not identical. So she still has to be able to sit, lie down, that kind of stuff. She has to walk politely on a leash. They have a section of rough petting, so so you kind of
Sure.
shake her around a little, and is she pretty cool with it, or is she aggressive about it? And she's pretty fine with it. She thinks it's the rougher the pet, the better
Oh, yeah.
for her. So we passed those, and I passed a written test and a background check, and she got a vet visit, and she has to keep up her vet visits, and that's how we got certified and stay certified, is that every year I have to retake a written test, and every year she has to get re-vetted.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you've been now bringing her to campus usually at least once a semester, sometimes twice. And sometimes it's like an official event in the library, especially like before or during finals week. But then other times just...
I brought her yesterday just because I wasn't lecturing in class, and so I thought students might enjoy seeing her since they were writing essays in class.
Yeah, and she just kind of hangs out.
She just kind of hangs
at
out.
the front.
Yeah. So she hangs out at the front. I walk around to individuals who want to pet her, and then she gets her appointment book fills pretty quickly. I'll send an email saying she's free from 9 to 10 or 11 to 12. Let me know if you want me to come to your class or your office, and I tend to get quite a few responses. She was here 5 hours yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just because every time we tried to leave, someone
else.
stopped us. Yeah.
Sure. The response always seems to be, well, you just mentioned that it fills up pretty quickly, but even is that how it started with the final exam or the week before?
So our certification didn't finish until December 2023. So by the time we were certified, really, finals week was our last opportunity to give it a go.
Right.
Just to sort of see, because the first time you never really, I thought there was an equal chance that it could be wonderful or it could be a disaster.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult that's not really the kind of thing we can practice.
Right.
You just have to go in and sort of see how it shakes out
Yep. Jump in.
and see how it goes.
But
Yeah.
there were no maulings.
No, luckily she's never mauled.
So-
She's never growled. She's never bitten. Temperament-wise, I'm probably more likely to bite somebody than Luna
yeah.
is. So she really enjoys it. She loves the attention. She loves the treats. All around, it has so far been a really positive experience for folks.
Does she have a favorite type of treat? Is she a crunchy or soft
So
or anything?
her favorites are the freeze-dried liver treats.
Oh, I'm not familiar with those.
Well, they're her favorites, and they stink. And I hate them because they smell so bad, but that's probably why she loves them.
Do you make her eat them like on the porch out back?
No, but she is limited to a certain number because too many and she gets stinky.
Oh, I see.
We had a situation. Do you want to hear a story that's not Mac related?
Yeah, sure.
We visit nursing homes primarily, and we were at a nursing home, and one of the ladies there just loves her, one of the patients, and she keeps a bag of treats for her, and she gives her what I feel are too many treats.
Right.
But both the patient and Luna feel like it is the appropriate amount. So she stuffs this dog with snacks, and then we went to the Alzheimer's unit, and we were in this lady's room, and Luna just let out the biggest fart, and she stunk up this lady's room, and I was so completely mortified. Luna didn't seem to care, but I was very embarrassed that we had like ruined this. It was awful. It was awful. But like, what are you gonna do
when you bring a wild animal?
when you bring a feral beast? So those are the kinds of things that we can't really control. We just have to apologize and move on.
You roll the dice.
You rolled the dice. She did say she'd like to pet a dog, but I think next time we're there, I doubt she will.
She's gonna rethink.
She will.
Weigh the pros and cons.
She'll feel differently, probably.
If that's the worst that happens, though, you'll
so she
take
doesn't
it.
maul, she doesn't growl, she doesn't bite, but she may stink up your room.
A little bit.
A little bit.
She's big on naps as well.
She loves a nap. She loves a cuddle.
Yeah.
That's true. And students kind of like that, too, because if they sit on the ground, she will crawl into their lap and just sort of, like yesterday, there was this student, she was like, oh, my God, she's on my lap. She's on my lap. So they kind of, I think that tactile, petting a dog can lower your blood pressure and your heart rate and that kind of thing. So I think that's good for a lot of, since so many students do have anxiety disorders, I think it's feeling the warmth of her body and her heartbeat and her fur. She's super soft. And so I think that's a pleasantly tactile experience for a lot of them.
Yeah, she's really smooth, short hair. Yeah, I haven't seen her in a bit, but we're good buddies.
You missed her yesterday.
I do. I did. I was out, so that was a little sad.
That's okay. She was booked up anyway.
Yeah, sure. She's like a celebrity.
She is a little bit
essentially.
Like a celebrity. Yeah.
We used her. I think Corey photoshopped a graduation cap on her.
No, that was from her graduation.
Oh, was it a real picture?
It's a legit photo.
From her. Was that the Good Citizen one? Or
no, that was her just obedience one because I wasn't even sure we were going to. I was just so excited because I wasn't really sure if it was going to happen for us or not because she was relatively inattentive at the start of those classes.
Yeah.
So it felt, we did work really hard, but also it felt a little bit lucky that we did as well as we did.
So getting through the intro class, you're like, hey.
Felt like a big win.
Let's
and I
live
felt
it
like
up.
if we can do this, we can do anything.
So yeah, we've used the photo of her and her.
In her little graduation cap.
In her cap for different promotions. So maybe we'll use that for the photo for this podcast episode.
Go for it.
Is there anything, I'm trying to think of what might be relevant to a listener as far as, did you do those obedience classes? I know years ago, Mac used to have a continuing ed. Now, was this locally, or did you have to travel somewhere for the classes?
We went through Petco in Farmington.
Okay.
And Rachel was our trainer, and she was fantastic. And she was our trainer through all of the classes. One thing that helped is that we were actually the only ones who signed up for Obedience 1 and Obedience 2 at that time. So normally you would have to divide that hour among, 5 or 6 dogs. But if we were the only ones, then we got the full hour of her attention. And so once Luna had learned the curriculum for the day, we could spend the last 15 minutes learning tricks. So she knows a bunch of tricks. I didn't teach her any of them. Rachel taught her all of them. So that's one of the reasons she did really well in training is because there were a lot of distractions because there are a lot of distractions at Petco, but she didn't have other dogs to distract her.
Yeah, the focus was on her.
Yeah, so we weren't necessarily paying for a private class, but we got private classes until we got to the AKC, and then there was one other dog in the class, and he was already a certified service dog, so he already knew how to do everything. They were just doing it because they needed the paperwork.
Gotcha.
And that was very humbling because he just looked at her with the most loving eyes, and he stayed by her side willingly and adoringly and just wanted to help her all the time. And Luna could not have cared less where I was or what I wanted her to do because the ferrets were out at the same time as our class, and ferrets are just more exciting than I am.
Yeah, that's a tough.
It was a tough one, and I wasn't allowed to use treats for the test. She had to just do it because she wanted to do it, and so for the other dog, it was no problem. The test was really just a formality for them, but it was a real challenge for us. So passing a behavioral test with ferrets out and about with no treats feels very satisfying.
Yeah. That's one arm tied.
It felt like a big deal. It felt like a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So the Obedience Farmington Petco. if
Farmington
anyone's out
Petco.
there.
If you want to get your dog obedient, call Rachel, and they'll get you set up.
We're not sponsored by
No.
Petco, but
But
yeah.
we had a great experience with them, and I would, even though they're not a sponsor, I would recommend them if other folks wanted to get their animals trained.
Very cool. So yeah, Mac, you mentioned nursing homes.
Mm-hmm.
How is she with like traveling in general? Did
Loves
you
it.
take her far
Yeah,
away?
she's a pretty good traveler. She's really excited to go somewhere.
And then you mentioned your mom.
Mm-hmm.
How's her relationship with Carol?
They're BFF.
Okay.
Yep. The dog is underweight, and so mom's going to fill her up with treats.
Yeah.
And there's a chair she's not supposed to get into, except when mom's home. It's fine. So they have a tight little, sometimes I'm just a third wheel who's, paying for the vet and filling up the bowl and that kind of thing.
You're just the manager.
I'm just the primary caregiver.
You're the day-to-day,
Yeah.
primary.
They're
You're not the
buddies.
fun
No.
parent.
No.
Yeah.
No. I just...
You handle logistics.
I am on logistics, and they are a joint neighborhood watch team.
Oh, I bet.
And they're looking out the window, and they're finding out what's going on, and who should be there and who shouldn't.
So both safety and gossip.
Yes, I do feel like the city of Farmington should pay us for
Patrolling.
patrol, being the first line of defense on Roberts Circle.
Yeah, I've come over to visit a few times, let her out, play. So she likes to run in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say that, come to campus to see Luna, but if you're lucky enough to ever be here on a day when she's in the library or just happens to be walking around, yeah, she likes meeting new people.
She loves it. She loves new friends
and
old friends.
She's got a good memory, and I know it's probably sense of smell is a big part of it, but my room is weird, so my desk is probably 30 feet from the door. But as soon as she sees
She knows
me,
you.
she knows me.
And she runs right to you, and
she'll
she's
run
so
up.
excited.
Yeah. And I'll get it maybe a solid 30 seconds. And then if something
moving
else,
on.
she's like, I got
Her love is intense, but it is fickle.
yes, something else needs my attention. And she's
There's probably
just-
another friend to make.
There is. Yeah. So, someone else is here. I got to go.
Gotta go. Good to see you. Gotta
Yeah,
go.
it's been fun, but moving on. Very cool. So I don't know if we have any final parting words of wisdom, but I think it's really cool that you went through the steps to get her prepped and official so that she could visit.
Yeah.
I know she's a big hit whenever she comes.
It has so far been a mutually beneficial setup for everybody. Students like her, and she likes the students.
Yeah, very cool. Now, this is a little bit off topic, but I think only once that I can remember, we had the two miniature ponies here. Has she ever interacted with other animals or anything like
She
that?
loves other she loves everybody. She loves dogs. She has her little doggy friend group at daycare. She likes cats, but cats don't like her because she really wants to she wants to chase them, not to hurt them, but she wants to play. And she wants to play a little rougher than they do. My friend Nancy had horses, and she ran right up to the horses to be friends with the horses, and we had to work on recall because the friend,
Yeah.
So she wants everybody to be a friend. Not everybody wants to be a friend in
Sure.
return.
Well, I guess things could be worse. So.
Sure, for sure.
But yeah, if you ever find yourself here and Luna's here, make time.
Make time. Book an appointment.
Yeah, you
Book
better
an appointment.
make sure she can pencil you in because
for sure.
she's kind of a star.
Can I give a final thought?
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as I know, Luna and I are the only therapy dog team in our local community, and there is loads of need, not just in nursing homes, but libraries and prisons and hospitals and lots of places. So if you feel like you have an animal and you have the time to dedicate to become a therapy dog, I would certainly encourage people to take that journey, because there is such a desperate need in our community, and folks are so grateful when we go to visit. So it has overall been a very rewarding experience that other people may want to try.
Yeah, and this is different than a service animal,
Correct.
which
Correct.
is miles more
Absolutely.
intense.
That's very intense. And Luna is not at all a service animal.
Yeah.
The service animals can turn on lights or smell your blood sugar or all kinds of things. And Luna just loves love.
Yeah.
That's Luna's talent.
No, that's a good point. If you are in a situation,
Yeah.
you have a specific animal that you think would be appropriate. Yeah, that's a great point. Way to get out and do things. And I'm sure it's super, like you said, it's rewarding to visit places.
Yeah.
And great. Well, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I'm sure you have, I guess, if there's one knock against Luna is that she can't really help you grade essays.
No, not even a little bit. In fact, she's quite a distraction
Is
over
she a
grading
problem?
essays. So I've got to
Yeah.
work at school rather than at home.
Cool. Well, Emily Murdock, again, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And I guess I won't give out your email, but if you're someone who wants to know more, again, you've got Petco in Farmington, but maybe you could reach out to the school and if you had a specific question. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, thanks for talking with us.
My
And
pleasure.
Anybody out there listening, hopefully this was fun and informative if you're interested in doing something similar. So, well, best of luck in our last
Thank
push to the end of the semester.
In our last few weeks.
Last few weeks. Are you doing summer classes? Are you going to take off?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Very rarely did I ever not teach
Yeah.
in the summer. So,
People need to graduate.
yep.
People need that class.
All right. Take care. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.